What's up? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button, and if you're listening on YouTube, hit that like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this beautifully honest reaction.
Talk to me nice, talk to me honestly. Look in my eyes, don't let it fall on me. Say you're a good guy, make me believe it. Don't wanna hear it, I wanna see it. See how rewind, when we rewind, feels so nice.
What is up, guys? Listen, let's just go ahead and get into some more stuff when it comes to Shannon Sharpe, because the settlement may be done, but the critique and the criticisms that I have, and I know a whole lot more people have for him, it's not going to stop just like that. Just like that. So I know he would love for people to just shut up about it, to say there's nothing left to see here. The case is closed. It has been dismissed with prejudice, and I want to move on with my life. Move on with your life. Definitely do that. But I just had to talk about this and put it on the record because it really bothers me when people like him, who proclaim to have or acts as if he has so much wisdom, and you have people sharing these clips on TikTok and Instagram. Unc is dropping gems. Unc is speaking facts. Unc is telling the truth. Preach, Unc. And what grown man is calling another grown man uncle unless he actually is your uncle or unc is ridiculous to me. But anyway, I just want to know, like, why do these guys keep listening to Shannon Sharpe? Because all he did was push liquor, gambling, and maybe not in public or blatantly, but he definitely was in some ways and innuendos pushing being around young promiscuous girls while acting like he's some wise mentor. So, was he ever really giving knowledge or just selling vices? Answer: selling vices. He definitely was not giving knowledge, because the mere fact of him allegedly giving knowledge while he wasn't even following the knowledge that he should have been following, it cost him sponsors, it cost him a lucrative position and opportunity with ESPN. And it definitely lost him the respect of some people who actually did hold him in high regard, who don't see him like that anymore. Seriously. So, like, is he a real mentor or just a sponsor for bad habits? Because he definitely was a sponsor for Gabby, that he actually put on Front Street to let us all know that she's an OnlyFans model. Like, he was doing something terrible and tragic to her by putting that out there. No, you were making yourself look like the simp that you are by letting everyone know that you were messing around with a chick for over however many years, and you were so-called in a tumultuous relationship. But no, it was not a relationship. It was a sponsor. You were a trick. And if we want to say she was a HOE or 304 or whatever they call them these days, we can say that too. But yeah, she was a very well paid one and now retired, thanks to him. But you had a lot of these dudes who follow him, who listen to him, who were putting all of this stupid foolishness out on social media about more mature women, older women, and definitely about Black women, as if they don't deserve respect, as if they don't deserve to be in a committed relationship with someone that wants to be in a committed relationship with them. Because just like I don't believe every woman is a whore, because it is definitely not the truth. Every woman is not a whore. That is definitely the truth. Not every male is one or cheats on the women that they are in a relationship with. Not every man does that. That's not true either. I've said that before, so that's not new information that I'm speaking. But when it comes to him, I'm highly disgusted. And I was never a fan, never a follower, so it doesn't disappoint me. It's not like he let me down. It just doesn't surprise me. And all the while, I believe he has been living in the closet. That's my personal opinion. I stand on that, and I have the right to stand on that, and that's what I truly believe. Because here, you had him saying things like this to his viewing audience and people sharing this bullcrap on social media.
Thing is me trying to get a job. So if you're telling me it's a job, so tell me what she is, and I go ahead and pay her because I ain't paying her to be with her. I'm paying her to leave.
Ooh, come on.
So
now.
how are we gonna do this?
I ain't paying her to be with her. I'm paying her to leave. And look at this clown in the amen corner as if he's like preaching a word. You said something right there, Unc. Like, it's so foolish.
Let's have real talk. You want to have real talk since you wanted to say, well, Shannon, yeah, somebody, your value. You don't set the market on your value. The market sets the market.
Ooh.
And see, that's clear, classic arrested development. A male who never really grew into being a man. He spent so much time in the gym building up his body. He didn't really spend much of any time, in my personal opinion, building up knowledge and gaining wisdom. We already know that he didn't do that because if he did, he never would have been in a position that he was in the first place with this chick. First of all, he never would have even been doing anything with her. How disgusting is it? I don't want to hear anything about what white people do. Please leave that leave that in the garbage because I don't care. It's not about what white people do. If they do something bad, and you being a black person and you get worse judgment or whatever, you should want to be better than that. Like where is the bar? Talking about Shannon Sharpe dropping bars. Again, this is someone that shared this on TikTok as if this man was speaking some wisdom and knowledge and facts, and it's so stupid. But I digress. He didn't spend much of any time building up knowledge and wisdom, but he was spending time in the gym. He was spending time knocking, chicks' blocks off and, ramming them in the rear and doing all the other stuff to the middle. It's just like, it's gross. All you care about is like, how old do you like, how much sex do you need in your lifetime? I don't understand how some people, you're just like a freaking animal. You're really just like an animal. One of my one of my husband's dogs is in heat right now. We have 3 girls and 1 male dog. And so one of the girls is in heat right now. So it's just funny to see this little male dog just every time he can get at her, trying to get at her because he just can't control himself. But that's a dog. That's like a legitimate real animal. I know some people call men dogs and some say all of them are dogs. It's not true. But yeah, there are some males that they just operate like dogs. You don't have any type of self-control. You had all of that control to work out in the gym, but you didn't have any dick control. You couldn't keep your control of what's between the apparatus that's between your legs to not screw around with a chick that was 19 years old when you met her. Like, what is wrong with you? It's crazy.
Ocho, I would have sell this cup. I would have sell this red solo cup with water
Right,
for
right.
$15.
Okay.
Nah, ain't nobody say that. If somebody gave me $15, that's what it's worth. Something is only worth what someone is willing to pay for it.
You see how stupid that sounds? Because that's one of the reasons why he wound up paying this chick more than $10 million, which is what he initially offered her before the lawsuit was publicized. And they just recently settled. So we know she got more than 10 million. We don't know the exact dollar amount. Some outlets can report and say, oh, it was this amount. None of them really have proof of that because the settlement was sealed. But again, one of the reasons why he was in a position where she wound up being retired from doing OnlyFans is because, yeah, he sees females as inanimate objects that are to be bought and sold. You're just worth a dollar amount because the dummy doesn't realize that when women say, I know my worth, it's not about a dollar. It's not about the price of what it's going to cost for a man to be with her. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that career and, status and growth and potential and all those things don't play a factor. That's just common sense, though. That's just common sense. But again, a woman that's saying they know their worth, they're not putting a dollar amount on it. But yeah, they are saying that no, I'm worth more than to be your cum rag that you just bust off in anytime you feel like it, and then that's all I am to you. Yeah, it's definitely about that, but it's not like an exchange of money for that. And listen, I'm not talking about the females that choose to operate their lives like that, because yes, I know that there are some females like that. But like I said, not every female is a whore, and not every man cheats or is a dog either. So, yeah, there's some treacherous women and women with females, I will say there's some treacherous females and females with issues, absolutely, just like there are males with issues, and Shannon Sharpe is one of them. And that's why I'm like, stop listening to him. But the males that are just like him, they will continue to listen and support.
So, and you don't say, unless you paying yourself or you buying yourself, hey, you're worth it. But
Hey,
y'all need to stop, ladies. Y'all need to stop this. I know my value. Who said that value?
oh,
And see, that's the problem. That's why you have Russell Wilson celebrating 9 years of wedded bliss with his wife, Sierra. Whether you like her or not, whether you like him or not, whether you like the relationship or not, I like it for the both of them, because that woman said, I know my worth. I'm not going to allow this nigga Future to drag me down. I was better than this in the first place, but I dumbed myself down to be with a dude that already had a bunch of different kids with other people. And I tried to accept and settle. And then I woke up to myself to say, no, I'm worth more than that. Yeah, we might be engaged. Yeah, I might have did the cover of a Bride magazine and people knew that we were getting married, but I said, no, I'm worth more than this. And I'm going to go ahead and be done with this. And now here she is, married to Russell Wilson for 9 years. They've had 3 beautiful children together. And yeah, a lot of people hate on the relationship, especially her child's father. I'm not going to say baby daddy. I will spare him that label, especially since the child is no longer a baby anyway. So I don't even want to put any disrespect on Sierra's son's, name, because he isn't a baby. So I'm not going to say baby daddy, her child's father. But Russell Wilson has definitely stepped in, stepped up, and been there. And that's what Future's mad about, because Sierra knew her worth. So this dummy right here talking about women like they're inanimate objects, where it's about what they say their worth is. And I ain't paying her to stay. I'm going to pay her to leave. You sound so stupid, and that's why you don't have anybody. And that's why you will be, if you live to be the age of 85 years old, still single, having to pay nurses and all the other stuff that you have to pay for to be cared for. Not saying that if he didn't have a devoted wife, or anybody for that matter, maybe married, and the spouse has complications and you need to pay for medical care. Of course, that goes without saying. I get that. But what I'm saying is there are a lot of single, lonely men up in these nursing homes, up in these spaces, alone, all of that good stuff. I have an uncle, my mom's brother, oldest brother, I believe, never married, never, had like a real relationship that I know of. And he's going to die alone. My mom checks on him. My mom's married. My mom's been married for I don't even know how many years. I think their wedding anniversary is coming up. And yeah, my dad, my mom's husband, has had health complications, and my mom loves my dad. My dad loves her. She's been there. And yeah, he has nurses and physical therapists and all of those things like that. But she is there as well. My uncle has nobody, and she's checking on my uncle when she gets a chance. And my uncle is like a lot of these dudes like Shannon Sharpe, where they just have seen females as inanimate objects that are just, there for the money. And just because you have had trust issues or whatever other issues you've had in your lifetime, it's not the women's fault that you haven't been able to, figure it out, get the help that you need so that you could let your guard down, and seek God, get God in your life, and maybe God will open up the door for you to have somebody that actually loves you for you, even if you have the world as your oyster. So yeah, because of his pride and his ego, and even I believe him not really being true to himself, because like I said, I believe the man is either gay or bisexual. Yeah, he ain't gonna be with nobody. He's just gonna be old and alone.
The market?
Mm.
Gold prices, the market set the price of gold. This watch, man, that watch ain't worth. Okay, it's worth what somebody will pay for it. The difference is you wear your watch to tell time. I wear my watch to tell you how valuable my time is.
And that's a stupid statement, because here's the thing, and I laugh at people who make statements like that, because you clearly have been brainwashed by the consumerism of the world and of this nation. These expensive watches, they tell time just like the cheap ones do, just like the time on your phone does, all of that good stuff, right? The time that you look at is the time that you look at. It doesn't matter if, oh, this is a timepiece. This is a whatever type of watch. And I ain't even into all that, so I don't care. But I'm just saying what he said is a stupid statement, because that's marketing. That's what you dummies who spend a whole lot of money on something to wear on your wrist so you know what time it is. They sold you on that. So you would spend $300,000 on a watch. So that you would spend $500,000 on a watch. You're an idiot. You're a dummy. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care if you could buy 10 of those types of watches and still be well off for the rest of your life. It still doesn't mean that it makes sense. No, it just means that the watch company was able to sell your stupid ass on that. And then you're going to sit and say that same statement that they sold you on to get you to buy that watch. So you're going to say, no, I wear this expensive watch to tell you how valuable my time is. Listen, my time is extremely valuable. I don't have to wear an expensive watch or an expensive timepiece or anything like that to prove to myself, or anybody for that matter, how valuable my time is. That's why if I need to be somewhere, I'm usually showing up early, because I value my time and I don't want to be stuck in traffic. I'm not showing up late and rushing and all those things. I learned the value of time growing up in a household where we didn't have a lot. So that's just a stupid statement that he was sold on by the marketing from these from these watch companies, and then he's sitting and saying something like that, like he's speaking facts and dropping bars and whatever. It's stupid.
There's a difference between the two. Stop playing with me.
Come on, man. Where you better?
That's the difference.
Hey.
You telling time. I'm telling you my time is valuable. Don't waste it.
Come on now.
And the funny thing about it is, guys, he's wasted his own time over these years by living the type of life that he's lived, and now he has given reparations to an OnlyFans model and another ethnic community. You have these so-called FBA people and all these other people out here, talking about reparations. Listen, the government of the United States of America is never going to give Black people reparations. So you can just hang that up. I'm not saying that we don't deserve it, but it's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But one of the things that I've said over the years is that these celebrities like the Shannon Sharpes, like the Jay-Z's, like the Diddy's, and a lot of the other ones, because they're not going to give reparations to the African American community, but they have allowed few of them to be in positions where they have been able to amass great wealth, right? It really was up to them to create opportunities so that more Black people could get on, so that they could build generational wealth and pass it down to their families and, to their neighborhoods and communities and all those other things. And they could have been building up, towns and neighborhoods that now have been gentrified and Black people have been moved out and all those other things like that. It really, the onus was on them and the opportunity was given to them to do things like that. But no, they want to shell out gambling and liquor to the African American community. And I'm just going to show you a quick example of that. So you guys can see my screen here. I believe this is one of his latest interviews. Flau'jae Johnson, she's a basketball player, but I'm not going to play this interview, but I just want to show you a couple things. So you can see right here, the liquor. He's promoting liquor to you guys, right? And I don't know if it's in this episode, but I'll probably go back to a previous episode because I just want to show you something because I know he's lost a lot of sponsors due to this Gabrielle Zuniga RAPE allegations. So yeah, we're going to go to another episode so I can just show you that. All right, so we can see here the infamous Club Shay Shay podcast episode with Katt Williams. And I'll say this over and over again because I still stand on this. This is what I said before. It wasn't even so much a Katt Williams interview, even though he had cards and questions on the cards. Katt Williams really came to the platform to address the people that he had on his podcast prior to him. And so he wanted to come to the same platform to address those people. And so he really just laid it all out on the table. It really had nothing to do with Shannon Sharpe being this amazing interviewer. I haven't heard a whole lot of people saying that, but I stand on that because I said it before and I said it, I'm saying again. So you see right here, the liquor.
2024. All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price.
Selling liquor to the African American community. Yeah, he's sitting there sipping it up. But selling liquor to the African American community.
One slice, got to roll the dice, that's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life.
See, selling liquor, cognac. Like, we don't have enough of that in this community, right? Alcohol, anyway, I ain't even going down that rabbit hole right now.
All my life, been grinding all my life.
All right, so to fast forward, you see the liquor, and you see up here, DraftKings. He's promoting gambling to you guys. So he's promoting liquor, and he's promoting gambling. Were there no other opportunities to be sponsored by something else that would be uplifting to the African American community? Why not a company that teaches people how to invest versus losing their money by betting on sports, gambling? Some people say, oh, stocks is getting, no, it depends on how you do it. Investing is not gambling. This DraftKings is 100% gambling, okay? So for him to be promoting gambling and liquor to the African American community, I mean, he could kick rocks as far as I'm concerned. Because like I said, they're never going to give the African American community reparations. So for all those idiots and all those losers that were talking about Kamala Harris said this and Kamala Harris said that or whatever, the woman never said she is not going to do anything for the African American community. What she said was she wasn't going to do anything that would just benefit the African American community. It would be opportunities for us that would, by proxy, benefit everyone else. But I digress. This isn't about politics or Kamala, but this is about the BS that people like him who have bragged, like he's bragged about how much money he's made off of this one interview, right? The egotistical stances that he has taken and the shots that he's thrown at people because of how well this interview did and how much he made and all this other stuff like that, right? It has been disgusting when, in light of all of it, you were sitting here promoting liquor and gambling. And then you're going to brag about how much money you made. What have you done to build anyone up and lift anyone else up besides possibly giving your stylist that a lot of people believe you were in a down low relationship with a G-Wagon, amongst other things, right? And I'm going to show you guys that clip. So right here, allegedly, we have some leaked messages between Shannon Sharpe and his ex-stylist Hollywood. And yeah, can't really read it all because it's scrolling up. But I guess these are some goodies that allegedly Shannon Sharpe bought for his stylist. The G-Wagon that he had delivered to the home. Well, I mean, what man is doing that just off the strength of a friendship with another guy? And you see right here, Tasha K said, yes, his ex-stylist is a man. Somebody else said, he's a trick. Let's move on. And then another one said, but won't give his daughter over a $30,000 wedding. See, this is what I'm talking about. The hypocrisy when it comes to Shannon Sharpe is outstanding. It is outrageous. It is incredible. And the word incredible actually means not believable. Because it's like you retired this chick and then you had all this smoke for women and even for your own children to say they know not to, come to me. I'm supposed to just be their last resort. I'm their last option. Don't come to me for nothing. But then right here, you've retired this non-melanated woman. Today, I have decided to retire from OnlyFans. Thank you for the incredible support you've shown me over the past few years. This community has given me a life I could have never imagined. I'll still be active on social media and have several new projects in the works that I can't wait to share. I'm truly excited for this next chapter. Thanks to this coon. Sorry. I love you all forever and ever. Thanks, Shannon Sharpe, for retiring these cheeks. Child, let me tell you something. This Negro could never tell me a thing. Not one thing. So that's why I'm just like, why are these males listening to him? Why do they give him their ears? Now, I know a lot of them were doing it prior to this situation, but a lot of them are still watching. A lot of them are still listening. But he's not a mentor. He was just a sponsor for this chick. And he has given her reparations. Reparations for all of the abuse that her anus allegedly took. Because let me tell you something, there were outlets that were reporting it just like that. And, I'll show you one of the publications that reported it just like that. And it's a very reputable publication. So I'll share my screen with you guys where they reported it just like that. People. People magazine. Shannon Sharpe accused of anal raping woman in lawsuit. He demanded complete control. So the people who tried to spin the narrative that this was just an encounter between, a couple that was in a tumultuous relationship with each other, and she got angry and he didn't, comply with her demands, and so she decided to put him on blast and whatever. No, they're reporting it just like this. Shannon Sharpe accused of, you see it right there on the screen. He'll never be able to get rid of that. That will, even though he has settled this lawsuit, that will forever go down just that way of him doing this to that young woman. And that's why I said it's really not over for him unless the DA says nothing to see here. We're just going to move on and focus on other things, because they could decide to go there. That's a crime. That's a crime. Okay. So, with all of that being said, guys, I really want to know what you think. I probably have a little bit more to share on this, but what I try to do, I just try to keep these as brief as possible. So I really would love to know what you guys think about it. Why do these males continue to listen to Shannon Sharpe? They really need to stop listening to him because he's a simp who promoted liquor and gambling and being with young girls. And I'll play one more little clip just to remind you that it's about the girl. All right, so let's check this video out. It's a throwback. All right.
Older men in the picking them. Because see, that's the competition. Older women ain't the competition with older women. It's them young ones.
Right.
It's them young ones that come. Yes. That'll do what you want.
Yeah.
That'll do what you want. It's them young ones that'll do what you want. It's just clown behavior, right?
Ain't nobody gonna tell me I'm independent. I pay my bills. I pay the cost to be the boss. You the boss by yourself. Them old young one coming with it. I don't.
Ciao.
know why these older men want to date these young girls that can be old enough, that can be young enough to be their daughters, and don't find that creepy. I respond to say, I don't know why these women be in everybody's business and don't find that creepy. But why? Hold on. But if Stella can get her groove back, Shay gonna get his groove back.
Come on.
He been telling y'all ninjas all this time what his preference is, and it's them young ones, like he said. I can't even speak the way he speaks, wouldn't want to, but I couldn't even imitate it if I tried.
Shay got his groove back.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't say no for Stella, because I remember I went to the movie and you clap it. Yeah, child. Do it, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Now all of a sudden, O'Shea trying to get his groove back. That's a problem.
Yeah, you got your groove on. You got your groove. I don't know if you got your groove back, but you got your groove on to the tune of more than $10 million. This time, we know that. We don't even know how much money you tricked off on this chick over the time period that she was tricking you. And I'm not saying tricking him in the terms of, getting over on him, because he was down for it.
You waiting on this rich man
Somebody
to come on a white horse.
They go talk about, I don't know why dating them. I like, baby, you didn't have a chance no matter what your age was. you could just like,
look at this clown nigga.
No, you had zero chance, less than zero, a negative integer. Who am I harming? Well, you got kids, okay, Ann? I need somebody kicking with my daughters anyway.
Uncle Shay Shay, Uncle Shay Shay, Uncle Shay Shay.
Child. So let me tell you guys something. It's just ridiculous with the throwbacks of the ridiculous foolishness that he has said, when all along there was nothing that he was sharing with his audience that was intelligent, that was knowledgeable, that was wisdom. He was just promoting liquor, gambling, and hitting some young chicks with the, you know what I mean, knocking their blocks off. It's just dumb. That's one of, not the only, but that's one of the reasons why the community as a whole does not have anything. And with the president that they have allowed to be in office at this point in time, that is working actively with the help of his racist underling, Stephen Miller, to strip away rights from the African American community, as well as others, but definitely the African American community, because he is a racist. We don't need people like Shannon Sharpe to have these large platforms to be spewing all of this garbage, because it benefits us 0%, okay? So I just wanted to share those things with you guys. I really want to know what you think about it, so please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.